Okay, let's go ahead and get started. We are going to be talking about drawings today. This is Lisa Layton, and we're going to go through the process of uploading drawings and also drawing revisions, and then also working through how to package those and also get them sent out to our subcontractors via Proliant. We'll also look at what drawings look like in Prolog and what we need to do as project assistants to make sure that we push that information out to Prolog correctly. If for any reason you're having any trouble, just remember that you can use the chat function here on WebEx or send me an email and let me know. You guys are all on mute right now, and at the end I will open it up so that if you have questions, you can let me know. But by all means, if you, if it's another month from now and then you're taking care of the drawings and you have a question at that point, feel free to let me know, and I can certainly assist you at that point in time as well. So let's go ahead and get into Proliant. And what we're going to do first is, let me get to the job I want to look at. We're going to use a test project, and we're going to actually go through and upload the drawings using the uploader tool. So first thing I wanted to talk about is just the types of drawings that we're going to be getting. And it depends on the timing of everything, but the main thing is that in Proliant, we have the drawings entered that our subcontractors are bidding off of. That's always the ones that need to be in here. You may have drawings that come before that, and it is okay to enter them into Proliant, but at a minimum, we have to have the drawings that our subcontractors are bidding off of in Proliant. Proliant has the ability to print off our Exhibit B for us. It will print off that drawings and specs list for us. So that's why it's key to make sure that you have those in there so that we can produce that Exhibit B to go along with our contracts. So at a minimum, bidding drawings need to go in here. After you have your bidding drawings, you could have what's called addendums. Addendums are changes to the drawings during a bidding process. Then you may receive your construction drawings. From there, you can have different changes. A lot of times your changes are going to be named based on how that architect actually handles it. There's not a one way to do it, so you're going to see them called many different things. You might see them called ASIs, ITCs. You could also have drawings changed due to RFIs. So there's a lot of reasons that your drawings can change, and all of those reasons would still require you to upload the drawings all in a similar fashion. The last set of drawings that you're going to receive on a project are going to be your as-built. And it is important that you put your as-built into Proliant because this is considered an archive. And if you want to go back to your project another year down the road, you can look into Proliant. Anyone else can look into Proliant and find those as-built drawings. So it is important at the end of your project to make sure you get those as-built in there as well. So let's start with just our new set of drawings that we're going to enter in. We're going to pretend like this is the first time this will be the first time we're entering these drawings in, but we can pretend that this screen you're seeing here in Proliant is blank. The location of the drawings in Proliant is under Applications, Office Management, and Drawings. So you can see we've got some in here. These are some other tests that we have done. But we have some drawings that, let's say our project manager emailed to us and said, here is the drawings that our subcontractors bid off of, and they need them to go into Proliant. So what we're going to do is save those drawings into a folder in Proliant. I would recommend when you're naming your folders that you keep it very clear, and I'd like to show you an example. This is completely up to you on how you want to handle this, but it's really worked out for me to be very clear about what my folders are named, and I go by date. So if you list the date and then what it is that is happening. So in this case, it was called a supplemental package number 1. If I scroll down, you can see they changed naming conventions, and then they were ASIs. But I've created these folders to keep my drawings all separated, and I know what packages are, what drawings are with what package. So that's just an example of file structure on the J drive or whatever your drive is called. So I'm going back to my training folder here, and what I've done is I've put the drawings that I want to have uploaded into a folder, and I have a drawing template here that I'm going to use. Now that drawing template you can find on the intranet on the green. So I'm going to go ahead and go there and just show you guys how you can get to that information to get a drawing template. If you go to resources, like many other things, you're just going to go to the wiki page and you're going to search for drawing. And when you do that, it's going to give you the template. It's going to give you different information, but you can come in here to get the drawing uploader template. So you can always come here to get that. You can, borrow it from another project. If you've just recently done one, you don't have to come back here to get this every time, but if there's any updates to it, we would be notified if there was any changes. But you can always get your drawing uploader template here, along with other work instructions. So just search on the wiki for drawing. So I'm going to go back to that J drive here. So I've got my drawing saved in here, and I've got a template. So I'm going to open up that template, and I have started to prepare this just in the interest of time. I've filled in some information, so I'll just go ahead and tell you what it is that I've done. I've filled out the name, title, package type, and our date. But I'll go through this step by step on what they are. So the first thing we want to do is we want to list out the drawings that we are going to be uploading. And there's one very easy way to do this. Now in this case we have 3 drawings that we're uploading. So I could type in the drawing names here under source file. This is where I want them to go in Proliant. I could type in those numbers and be done. If you have a lot of drawings that you're uploading, that would take a lot of time. So there's a quick, easy way for you to get those drawing numbers listed here. And I will mention that your spreadsheet that you have must be in the folder with your drawings that you're planning on uploading. Otherwise, this will not work correctly. Your upload will not work at all. So make sure your drawing template is in the folder with the drawings that you are planning to upload. So if I click in this first cell here under Source File, and then I'll go to the Developer tab, and then I'm going to go to Macros. I'll select Run. I want this to be a PDF is what I want. If you were uploading photos, you could do this differently and make them be a JPEG. But in this case, we do want them to be PDF. And I hit OK, and it's now auto-filled in those drawings that I have in the J drive. So just to compare here, you can see A424 is here, A510 is here, A413 is there. So it will automatically fill that in for you. So very, very handy, especially when you have quite a few drawings. Now, I had already typed in this information. I would need to make sure that it matches up, that A424 really is my stair and large plans and elevations, but we're going to go ahead and go with it since this is just a test anyway. But whatever A424 is called, you'll just look at your drawing, and we can go ahead and do that. We'll open it up and see what is it named. And you can always find that, every architect is different. But if we scroll down here to the bottom right-hand corner, that's usually where you're going to find the information that you're looking for. Let me just expand this here real quickly. And you can see here that it's called, the drawing title is Little Sprouts Enlarged Plans. There's my drawing number. I've got dates here of when it was last issued. This one was on May 23rd. That would be the date I'm looking for. In this case, we're just doing some tests, so we're not too terribly worried about what we're naming these. But that's where you'd want to go. Make sure you name them correctly. At this point, these are not in Proliant, so I don't need to make sure that this naming convention matches up to anything in Proliant, but we will need to do that when we do a revision. So for now, we're going to go ahead and go with this. When I go over here to revision, I do not need to put anything here because I'm not doing a revision. This is the first time I'm uploading these drawings. I can put a 0 there. I don't have to. So that's up to you. If you want to put a 0, you can. but it won't make any difference if you put a 0 or leave it blank. Your title can be the same as your name. They're two of the same things, so just do a quick copy and paste and you'll have that taken care of. Your package type, I'm going to go into Proliant and show you what your options are for that column. They do need to match exactly what you have in Proliant. So if I just click this new button here, I'm under Drawing, and I'm going to scroll down to my package type. If I select the magnifying glass, I'm going to see what my options are. So my options are Addendum, Approved as Noted, ASI, Bidding. It has to match exactly in your spreadsheet, otherwise the drawing upload will not work. So if I was over here in my spreadsheet and I just typed bid, B-I-D, it would not upload because the way Proliant is reading it is bidding. If I wanted to do ASI, I would need to make sure it matches exactly to the way you see it in Proliant. In this case, we're going to call these bidding drawings, so the package type is set up. My actual and receive date, in this case, they're going to be the same date because I haven't uploaded them previously. When I go to do the revision, you'll see that there's going to be a difference in the dates, and we'll talk about that when we do the revision upload. The last thing that you're going to have is the discipline. This is another item that needs to match identically to Proliant. So in this case, these are architectural drawings, and if I go back into Proliant, and I go down here to the discipline. Again, I can select that magnifying glass and I can see what my options are. So you can see for architectural, it's ARCH. If I type out architectural all the way, it's not going to upload. It will error out on you. Electrical is just an E. So again, you want to come to Proliant and make sure that what you're typing in for the discipline matches to what's in Proliant and what's on your spreadsheet. They must match. Otherwise, the upload won't work. It's fairly particular. So that's the last item that you need to fill out. So we are actually done with our spreadsheet. We can select Save, and we're going to be ready to upload these drawings into Proliant. I'm going to close out of that spreadsheet. And on your desktop, you should all have the Proliant file uploader. If for any reason you don't, just let IS know and they should be able to help you with getting that onto your computer. But you should have this Proliant file uploader. The first time you select that icon, you're going to need to fill in all of this information here. And then what I would recommend you do is hit that Save Password button and don't think about it again. Then when you come in here, all you have to do is hit Next. So this host address, you can find that, again, if you go to the wiki page for drawings, there are instructions out there. You can go there to get that host address. Your org name is going to be Ryan. Your username is the same username it is to log into your computer. And your password, you may not know. If you haven't logged in before, you may need to contact IS to have them help you figure out your password for Proliant. Since we're automatically logged into Proliant, most of us have no idea what our password is. The beauty of it is that you can change it once IS helps you figure out what it was. You can make the password whatever you want it to be. Type in your password, again, hit that Save button, and you don't have to think about it again. I think I know what my password is, but I'm not 100% sure because I've hit Save Password, and that was probably years ago that I did that. So I can go ahead and select the Next button, and it's going to take me a list of all the projects that I have access to in Proliant. So I'm going to find the project that it is that I want to upload my drawings to. Be very particular about picking your job, because if you upload them to a job that you don't want, you'll need to contact Morgan to have those deleted. We are not able to delete them on our own. So pick the project that you want to upload your drawings to and select the Next button. Then you can see there are options. This uploader tool does work for other things, like I mentioned, photos. It works for submittals, but in this case we're doing drawings. And I'm going to search for that spreadsheet. Then I'm going to select the next button, and it's going to take me to a screen that just says import the files. There's nothing to do here. We can go ahead and select next, and it's going to start our upload. This is where we cross our fingers, and we hope that the box is checkmarked that we want to checkmark. And you can see here that I've got one that is not checkmarked. That means that that drawing did not upload. So what I want to show you is what do you do if it didn't upload. I highly encourage you to check your spreadsheet and check it again, because it's way easier to just have all those boxes checkmarked. But if they don't, you can figure out what one did not upload, and you can correct it. So we know that this first one did not upload. We can figure that out. This last one, I just want to point out, that last box is never going to check mark, but we're not uploading anything into the presentation file. We were uploading and attaching something to the source file. So these last two drawings did upload just fine. To see what happened to this first one, we would go to the console up here. And you can see this is why it's not great to have it air out on you. I did this on purpose so that you could see it. But when it does that, it just gives you quite a bit of hodgepodge, and you can't. It's a little more difficult to find it. We only have 3 drawings, so I can figure it out here fairly easily. But if I scroll to the top, you can kind of read through it. It says duplicated revision number. That means that that drawing I was trying to upload was already in Proliant. And when I try to upload it and say that it's the first time it's going in, it's not, so it airs out and tells you, no, that does not work. That should have been a revision. So if I just open that spreadsheet up again, we can see, let me go back here, this is telling us which drawing was a duplicate. It's the stair enlarged plans and elevations. If I look at my spreadsheet, I'll look to see what was the number for that one. It was A424. I'm going to go into Proliant, and we're going to look here to see if A424 is in here. It is not, but if I look for and search for stair, if it was named that, it still doesn't work. So it's going to look at both the number of your drawing and the title of your drawing. So it's very important that these things match and that you stay consistent when you start a project, and that your naming conventions just stay the same and your drawing numbers stay the same. So we're not going to worry about it. We're going to pretend like everything went just the way we wanted it to, and we're going to go ahead and package those 2 drawings up that we just uploaded, and we're going to create a drawing package. So I'll just do a search here real quick for one of those drawings that we did upload and we know went okay. So that was A510. So again, if I go back to Proliant and I just search for A510, sorry, I have to hit the refresh button. Oh, it's still not working for me. Bear with me. Let's type in little sprouts. There we go. So you can see here that A510 has been entered. It's got our June 16th date here. That's the date that we entered it into, that we had put in our spreadsheet. It's the bidding package type. So we can see that item uploaded okay. So the next step that we're going to do is go to our drawing packages, and we're going to create a package for this update, this drawing update that we received. So I'm going to go ahead and go to New. I'm just going to call this test project number 4. Usually what I would do here and recommend is that you call it whatever it is that really is happening. So if this was an ITC, I would put the date and that it's ITC number 4. If it is the first time you're doing it, I would put it in there as the date and it's the shell package. So whatever it is that you're doing, that's what I would list here for your package name and as well as the description. This is your call on how you want to do this. It can be a team decision. Maybe you want to have an actual description under package description. That's perfectly fine. When we distribute this, it doesn't get distributed, this way as a drawing package, so our subs aren't really seeing this part of the Proliant. They can access it, but they usually are not looking here. We're going to send it out as a transmittal. So choose how you want to do your naming convention. That's fine. The next thing you're going to do is select your current issue date. So in our case, we were calling those drawings dated today's date. So that's the issue date. And then you also have to select your package type. In this case, they were our bidding drawings. So we're going to select bidding as our package type. And then it's hard to see here, but it does require that you put in PA/PM. And what you'll do is just, you can type in your name here. It doesn't, again, make a large difference if you put yourself or your project manager. It works just fine either way. So you can put your name there. Then what you'll do is go to drawings. And you're going to select those two drawings that you want to be in this package. So they are existing drawings because I've already put them into Proliant. So they already exist. And right here I can see that these are the two drawings that I want to add to my package. So my tip here for regarding the package is you can see that it's a very limited number of items that I can put in this package. That's because all of the other drawings have already been packaged up and put somewhere. Once you include a drawing in a package, you cannot include it in another one. The only way you can include it in another one is to have a revision to that drawing, and then that one can go into another package. So if you have numerous packages of drawings that you need to upload, I recommend that you do them one at a time, upload the package, create your drawing package in Proliant, then move on to the next package and upload that into Proliant, then package that one up. It's going to make your life a heck of a lot easier when it comes to selecting on this screen and selecting the drawings that you want. It's harder to see which ones you want to pick if you have a lot of drawings listed there. So in best case scenario is that you can select that add all, and you're going to put them all into a package and be done with it. So package your drawings up after each time. Do the drawing package every time you do it and upload. So I've got my two drawings there. I'm going to select OK, and it's added them in here. I'm going to go ahead and hit save. The next step is something that will be going away in the future, but for now this is what we need to do to get our drawings to show up in Prolog. Now, if your project is not currently using Prolog, you can still go ahead and do this. This is a good habit to get yourself into. But go to Options. What we're going to do here is we're going to activate or accept these drawings. So if I select Options and Accepted, it is going to accept both of those drawings just with a click of a button. If you don't do this, you have to go into the Drawing section of Proliant. Let me just minimize this here again. You would need to go into this Drawing section of Proliant and go into each one and accept them in order for them to work with Proliant, or with Prolog, excuse me. So I'm going to go back here to my package. I've got them listed as accepted. Again, I'm going to save. And then I'm going to workflow this to complete. I don't need to send it to anybody, but this process needs to happen in order for those drawings to work with Prolog and be exported out to the Prolog system. So you can see here, this is my drawing package. I can see my test package number 4 is showing as complete. That means I can go into Prolog and I can see my drawings out there, or our field people, the people who are using it. As project assistants, we are not necessarily using Prolog for ourselves, but we have a role in getting the drawings out to them to make sure that they have access in Prolog. So what I'm going to do now is actually show you on the iPad what it looks like when those drawings go out to Prolog. So give me just a moment here. I'm going to get my iPad going, and I will be able to show you the screen of what it looks like in Prolog. Should be just a second here. Okay. So now you guys should all see what it looks like on my iPad on your screen there. So you can see here that I have 3 projects that I have access to in Prolog, and you can see here that there is a test project listed. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and go into that test project. And once I go in there, down at the bottom, right down here, there's a file library. When I select file library, you can see that I have options of looking at my drawings. I'm going to back up just a second here. You can see that there is the ability to see submittals as well. We're not talking about that in this training, but you can see submittals in here as well. So if I select that drawings, I can see it's broken it out for me by architectural, civil, electrical, landscape, plumbing, structural. So our field, our subs, our project managers out on site can open up Prolog and they can see the information right here. So one thing that I will point out is that this file name that you see here, it's fairly lengthy here, the way these are named. So again, this is going to be a project team decision. You may want to consider doing the upload the way we did, where we just called our file name just the drawing name. That is what you are seeing when we look here at the Prolog screen. That is what the file was named. So if it was just named A113.A, we would only see A113.A here. And over here, we would see our title that says roof plan. You don't have the ability to expand these sections. So it's important that the information you want them to see, the most important thing is what you're naming it first, because that's what they're going to see. So that information, by us completing it in Proliant, pushes it automatically out to Prolog. And if I scroll down here, let's see, trying to find the ones that we just did. Right here, I believe that's one. So, you can open that screen right up and they can see this information in Prolog right away. So it's very, very handy for them, and that's our role in getting those drawings out to Proliant. I'm going to go ahead and close off the air server there. So back to Proliant. Once you've packaged up your drawings, we're going to go into Transmittal. And this is how we are able to send out these drawings to our subcontractors. So I'll go ahead and select New. Another thing that I would recommend is that if you've done this before, so you can see here we've had a drawing package we've sent out before, you could do just a copy and paste it. So copy to New, and I've already got it started. I could change this and just say drawing package number 3. So I can either, copy a transmittal I've used before and start from that, or I can create a new one and go from scratch and say drawing package number 3. Any instructions you want to give them, you can put down here under the instructions section. What I usually do is I instruct them on when they get this, how can they upload these drawings in one swift move. So I'm going to show you that here on another project. Actually, not that one. Let me open up one more screen here. And I'll show you just an example of what I've done before. Again, this is your call. There's nothing that is specifically said that you need to do here. This is just a recommendation for you, and just to show you an example of these. So you can see here under current state that these all say sent. You can send anything you want to out via transmittal. we'll look at this ASI right here that was sent out. And I just gave them instructions on how to download all of the drawings at one time. If they go to Transmittal items, they can see lots and lots of drawings here listed. So they could go in here, they could click on them, open them one at a time. But the point of the transmittal is so that they don't have to do that. When they get it, they can go up to options. We can also use this function. Go to options and download source items. And what that's going to do is give them the option of making that into a zip file. You can see here it says download zip file. So they can open that, they can save it wherever they want to, but it's going to pull all of those drawings out of Proliant in one click. This is the only way to do that with drawings. If they go into this drawings tab over here, they can click on a drawing one at a time, but they can only download that drawing one at a time. So by giving them this transmittal, they're able to do that with just a couple clicks and get those drawings all pulled off. So I just give them the instructions of how to do that they can download all the source items, or they can select the transmittal items link above. I encourage them to turn off their pop-up blockers, because if they have a pop-up blocker on, they're going to struggle with getting that option to work. We also, on this project, are using Oxygen. This was a project, we're using Prolog as well, but at some point Oxygen will go away, but I just let them know if they want to, they can access those drawings on Oxygen as well. We also use what's called a change request form here in our office, which is also available out on the wiki if you want an example of that. It's just a way of telling that subcontractor, here is what is changing, these are the drawings you're receiving. Let us know if you have any costs associated with this change. So that's another form that we are using. And then I just ask them to email me a copy of that form. So any instruction that you have for your subcontractors, you can put there in that section. I'm going to scoot back here to my blank one that I was using before. So I've typed in drawing package number 3. I can go to my transmittal items, and I'm going to add in the drawings that I want now. So since I've packaged these drawings up, I can do add from package instead of adding my drawings one at a time. And I can go down here and just add that test package number 4, and those 2 drawings will pull in. Another thing that you can do, maybe you have a subcontractor that's just come on board and you want to get them a complete set of drawings. You just want to make sure that they have all of the current drawings. You can do that as well via a transmittal. In that case, I would go to Add Existing Drawings. And then what you would want to do is just make sure you're in that Exhibit B view. That's going to give you the latest and greatest drawings. You can select Add All, and they're going to get a copy of all the drawings for that project, all the current drawings. You can select OK, and then it's going to list all those drawings out here in your transmittal, and you can send that to them. So very, very simple. One other thing to mention about these transmittals is that once you have sent them, if you wanted to do that again, maybe you had a current, somebody requested a current set of drawings and you sent those out. If you open this up and just forward it to them, it's not going to work. They're not going to be able to access those items. So this would be a great opportunity to use that copy. If I wanted to send the exact same transmittal to somebody, if I do Options, Copy to New, I can now save this and send this on to somebody, and it will work okay. So you cannot forward a transmittal. You have to have a new one, but it's very simple to copy and create a new one of what you've already done instead of recreating the wheel. So once you've done that and you've got your transmittal package together and sent it out, your subcontractors have now received the notification and can have access to those drawings. Another tip that I'll point out that I would highly recommend, and I would talk about this in another training as well, but when I'm just going to use the forward function here. Like I said, this would not work. I just want to show you the screen. When you select the To button, instead of going through and selecting all your subcontractors, utilize the distribution list. It's down here under Address Book. You can create distribution lists. You can create as many as you want to. I've got quite a few different distribution lists, but I've got one that has all my subcontractors in it. I can select add, and it's going to pick all those people for me, and I don't have to go through and possibly miss somebody on my list. So I highly encourage you to use that distribution list and have one set up that this is who gets the drawings, and just add to that distribution list as your subcontractor team grows. So once you've hit send on that, that is a done deal. So now what we're going to do is go through a revision. And we'll do this one just a little bit quicker since we've gone through one before. I'm going to go ahead and open up another drawing. Our same drawings, we're considering them to, sorry, give me just a second here. I'm going to go ahead and close that other one we were using. So this is my revision. I've pulled my drawings into the folder. I've got a drawing template here that I can use. I'm going to open that up. Again, if I want to pull in all the drawings that I have listed, I can go to Developer, Macros, Run. It's a .pdf, hit OK, and now those drawings have uploaded. We're going to run into a problem with them not all uploading again because in the interest of time, I just copied that spreadsheet. So one of these is probably going to air out, and that's fine for our training purpose. Another thing I want to show you real quickly is just, and there are instructions for this, but if you do not have this developer tab, you just would go over to Options, and you can add in your developer tab here. There's just a custom ribbon, and you just want to make sure that this is check marked over here, and your developer tab would pull up. So if you haven't seen that before, that is how you would go about getting your developer tab added on there for you. So back to the spreadsheet. These are revisions. So I've got my A413. I would make sure that my name matches exactly to what is in Proliant. If it does not match exactly, it's not going to go and override what is in Proliant. So everything needs to match. And I will just pull up my last spreadsheet real quickly and see how we did it the last time. I've got them named the same, so let me just rename this real quick, and then it'll let me open that up. We'll try to make sure that we get a couple that work here that actually get uploaded. So 424, 510, and 413. I'm just going to make sure my other spreadsheet has them in that order since I was cheating a little bit. So it was A424 and then A510. Thank you for bearing with me on this one. And 413. So I would recommend that you look at Proliant, look at your list of drawings, and make sure the names that you have listed match up to the names that you're putting on the spreadsheet. If you even have a space that is there that shouldn't be, it won't upload. If you have a dash that's there, if it's a period versus not a period, it's very particular. So they need to match exactly. Now, we're considering that I've uploaded these all before, so it's revision number 1. Again, if we look at Proliant, I'm going to change my view here to Exhibit V view. That's a little bit easier view to look at. I can see here if I've got a revision number. So, you know, just look through this and make sure that things are matching up. In this case, we've got the little sprouts. It's the first time that we're uploading it, so it would be revision number 1. So just make sure you compare it to Proliant, otherwise you're going to have troubles with the upload. If you look at the package type, let's say that this is an ITC that is changing our drawings. I'm going to go ahead and change that to ITC. I'm going to go back to Proliant. I'm going to double check to make sure that that's a acceptable package type to use. If I scroll down, I can see that ITC is not an option. So I either need to add it in as an option, and I can do that by doing Manage Lookup, Add Top Level, and I can put in ITC. I can add that in. Now that's only going to add it to this project. It's not going to add it to other projects. It's just going to add it to the one you're currently working on. But I could then have ITC as an option in my spreadsheet. If that's not what you want to do, you would just need to select a different package type and put that into your spreadsheet. But at this point, I've added in ITC, so I can still go ahead and use that. And we're going to say that this was updated now on, we're just going to say today is the 17th, not of April. So I'm changing the revision, or the receive date. Notice that this actual revision date is not going to change. That is always going to be your original date. So if you were coming in and typing this spreadsheet from scratch, make sure you look back at Proliant and look at your list and see what the original date was. That's the date that is going to go into your first date column on the spreadsheet. The current issue date is your receive date here. And then lastly, the discipline is actually staying the same because these are still architectural drawings, so we know that that is going to match up. So once you've filled in that information, you can go ahead and hit save. Close that one as well. I'm going to go back to my file uploader. Now, once you've done it once, we were finished with this one, you do have to close it and start again. You can't keep it up and continue to do uploads. You have to start from the scratch. So we'll go ahead and select next. We're going to find the project that we want to upload to. Select next. Go to drawing. We're going to look for that drawing template that we want to upload. Going to hit next. Again, it's going to bring it to a screen that says import the file. We're going to go ahead and select next again. And we kind of assumed that our first item was not going to work. It didn't work the first time. That was looking for revision number 2, but we only put in 1. Again, I can go to that console tab. I can look to see what's the problem, and it's again saying duplicate a revision number. That doesn't work. So it is just, it's very particular, so just compare it to what you have in Proliant. But you can see here that we've got check marks, so we know that that worked, and we were able to upload 2 more revisions. So we'll go back to Proliant, and we're going to go back to our drawing packages because we've done another package, and we're going to call this test package number 4, we're going to call it addendum after it. Well, we'll call it 5. Test package number 5, I guess I called it an ITC. So we'll just call it that. Whatever your package is called is what you can call this here. I need to put in a current issue date. I'm going to put the 17th because that's the date that these that's the date that these drawings are dated. Again, down at the bottom, I'm going to type in my name. And I did skip past my package type, so I would need to come in here, select that ITC, and you can see it does not put them in alphabetical order. Once you add them in, they will just go down to the bottom. I can hit OK. I'll go to my drawing section. I'm going to do add existing. And again, you can see I've got my 2 drawings here. The other 2 are gone now because the ones that were dated June 16th, those are gone because I've included them in a package. So they have dropped off my list and they are not available for selecting. So I'm going to select these 2 items here, select OK. Again, I'm going to hit the Save button, and that's going to ungray that Options tab for me. Now, I will show you real quickly here as well, the change status on completion is blank right now. Once I select Options and Accept it, that's when it's going to fill it in for me here. I do want to go ahead and hit Save again, and then I'll go to Workflow and Complete. That's going to push those drawings out to Prolog like we looked at before. So now I've got a complete version of test package number 5. Again, when I'm done, I can go into my Transmittals, and I can do the exact same thing I did before. I can go to New, or I can copy one of my previous transmittals and use that if I want to as well. But I would just come in here, type in the title of whatever it is, put in your instructions, go to your transmittal items. You can select Add from Package, Drawing Package, and you can select that test package number 5, ITC, and it will pull in those 2 drawings from that package. And you'd be able to save and hit send. So there's a lot of little different steps for uploading drawings, and it can get fairly confusing at times, and I completely understand that. It's the thing that I just recommend most is that you make sure your spreadsheet looks the way you want it to before you try to do the upload, because that will make your life easier. I also recommend creating a drawing package after each upload. That will also make your life easier. Just taking it one step at a time. The last thing I would mention about drawings, and then I guess I got 2 more things to mention about drawings, and then we'll be wrapping up. When you are done uploading a package, I would recommend that you create your Exhibit B. So I'm just back in Drawings, and I'm going to go to the Exhibit B view. To create your Exhibit B view, you can just go to Print, and there is a CPL for this, so you can go to Custom, Exhibit B, and it's going to pull what the current drawings are after that upload that you just did. So if I just select Open, it's going to give me a drawing, an Exhibit B drawing list that looks pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's real close to being good that you can use this to send out to your subcontractors with your contract. The thing I would point out to you here is that it does not care what size or how much space you're taking. It's cutting things off here. So you would need to do just a little bit of aesthetic work on your Exhibit B. Change it to a landscape view, whatever works for you. But just you'll want to watch that because it will do that to you. It does not come out perfectly. But get your Exhibit B out of there and save it to your J drive so that you know that this is what my subcontractor bid off of. This is what I need to include with their contract. This is the Exhibit B that they need to see. The last thing to show you, I mentioned earlier about having your subcontractors have access to all the drawings and sending them out via transmittal where they have access to all the drawings. But another thing that I like to point out to them is that if they go to, when they first come into Proliant and they go to their project, and I'm going to show content, it's going to look a little bit different for them. They don't have as many dashboard items as we do. But they also have this contract drawings. So when they come into Proliant, they can select contract drawings on their project dashboard, and it's going to take them directly to the latest revision view of drawings. So that's something else that our subcontractors can see, and it's good for you to be able to point that out to them as well, that they could go look for just an individual drawing if they were wanting to do that. That's another option for them. So that is all I have for the drawings and transmittals session. So I'm going to go ahead and unmute here so that if you have any